Hey guys, it's Jeff Johnson and welcome to video number 3. Now throughout this entire free training series, I've been teaching you how to build a bigger list, get more traffic, and find new customers for you and your business, even if you're just getting started out. And in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to double your sales overnight, and I'll do that by walking you through my simple 3-step double your sales system step by step. Now, this is the very same system that has helped me double my sales for multiple products quite literally overnight. And the good news is you can have your very own double your sales system up and running within 45 minutes or less, and then it runs 100% hands-free. So you can spend your days doing whatever you want to do, wherever you want to do it, and with whom you want to do it. However, before we get started with today's training, let's do a quick recap of your first 2 training videos. In video number 1, I taught you my 11 rules for building a better, more powerful lead magnet that not only helps you build a bigger, more responsive list faster, it also converts more of your leads into customers and money for you and your business. And in video number 1, I also told you that I have personally tested thousands and thousands of different variations of opt-in pages in multiple markets, and the test results are always the same. If you want to increase your conversions, whether it's an opt-in page, a landing page, a sales letter, or even a video sales letter, then start with a simple page design that has a simple, easy to understand offer, because simple pages with simple offers convert best. I also shared with you my story about how and why I got started marketing online 13 years ago. And I struggled at first just like everyone else, but when I finally decided to do things my way, I went from making nothing to earning between $3,000 and $5,000 a day in pure profit, and I did it in just 3 or 4 short months by setting up a hands-free system that automatically attracts a constant flow of highly targeted traffic, new leads, and new customers from multiple sources. And I was able to set it all up at night and on the weekends because at that point I was still working my day job as a stockbroker. Now, with that kind of money, that gives you the freedom to do whatever you want all day, every day, so I chose to spend time with my children, including attending my daughter's first day of school and setting up my son's tiger den, where I told you about them dressing me up as the Christmas tree for our first Christmas party. Which brings us to video number 2. In video number 2, I told you the story about how 2 days after graduating college, I took a job as a stockbroker, and I loved being a stockbroker. I earned up to 6 figures in sales commissions selling stocks, bonds, and insurance products in a single week. Now, in full disclosure, the firm kept half of the commissions, but I got to keep the other half. However, I was also paid a 6-figure bonus in a single paycheck, and I got to keep all of that. But then one day, a man walked into my office and he wanted me to help him raise money for his internet business, and doing the research for that project changed my life forever. I started my own online business, and within a few months, I was making more money working at night and on the weekends in my own business than I ever made as a stockbroker. And on April 15th, 2004, I walked into my boss's office, I quit my job, and I never looked back. And for the last 12 years, I've been able to spend my days doing things that I could never do working for someone else, including traveling the state all summer, every summer, with my wife and children. We stay at places like the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island. We take the waterfall tours. We jump off the black rocks into the freezing cold, icy waters of Lake Superior. And when our guests come to stay with us in the summertime, we like to take them to some of the most beautiful spots in the United States, including Sleeping Bear Dunes National Shoreline, which happens to be less than an hour away from our center of the summer universe, which I like to call my happy place. Now, in video number 2, I explained to you that this picture really doesn't do the lake justice, at least the view, because my wife took this picture with her iPhone in that crazy panoramic setting, which really scrunches up the center of the picture. However, what I didn't tell you was that just before this house was finished being built, my wife and I were standing in the kitchen looking out over the lake, and she looked at me with tears in her eyes, and she said, "I never imagined that I would ever have anything so beautiful in my life." Hearing my wife say that at that point in time made all the sacrifices that we had to go through in order for me to be able to start my own business, to walk away from a very lucrative career as a stockbroker. Hearing her say that made it all worthwhile. This is our vacation home. We built it so we could spend our summers with our friends and our families, spending all day, every day doing what we want to do and when we want to do it. I'm able to do these things for my wife and my family because 12 or 13 years ago, I was smart enough to set my business up so it runs as hands-free as possible by using automated systems that automatically attract new traffic, new leads, and new customers for my business so we can live the lifestyle of our dreams. Now, I want you and your family to have the lifestyle of your dreams. Whatever that lifestyle is, that's the lifestyle that I want for you. Which is why in video number 2, I showed you 16 proven ways to get free traffic, free leads, and new customers. Now, everybody knows that you need a constant source of new traffic and new leads or your business will eventually fail. However, all the traffic and leads in the world won't do you any good if you can't convert them into customers. Conversion is the key to success in any business. I don't care if it's offline or online. It all starts with conversion. Converting traffic into leads, leads into customers, and converting customers into money for you and your business. So today, I thought I'd teach you my simple 3-step system for doubling your sales overnight. Now, you could easily adapt this system to your opt-in pages, your landing pages, or even your written sales letter. But today, I'm going to show you how to use it to double your video sales letter conversions overnight without recording a single second of new video, because that's exactly what we did in this case study. We were able to more than double our video sales letter conversions overnight. We increased them by 103.43% using the very same system that I'm going to teach you today. In fact, I've boiled my entire double your sales system down to just 3 simple steps, and it begins with step number 1, which is split test headlines above your video sales letter. Now, a VSL with the right headline will always increase conversions, but it has to be the right headline, which means you have to keep split testing different headlines until you find the best one. So here are some headline tips for you. Different sources of traffic will respond to different headlines, so tailor your headlines to each unique source of traffic. And different styles of headlines work best during different phases of the buying decision process or the sales cycle. And start by testing benefit-rich headlines that hint at what the video is about or arouse curiosity so they will be compelled to actually watch your video. And if your cart is closing soon, try testing a deadline headline above the VSL along with a countdown timer. But don't use a deadline or a countdown timer too soon because you could potentially lose a sale. Think about it. If a visitor comes to your VSL and there's this big headline and a countdown timer that says, "Warning, this sale ends in 17 days, 3 hours, and 17 seconds. It doesn't matter if you say warning. If you just let them know that they still have 17 days to make up their mind, what's going to happen? Well, they're going to leave. They're not going to sit there and watch the video. They have 17 days. So you want to try to keep your deadline and your countdown timer to as short as possible, but still give them enough time to make a decision. So through our testing, we have found that using 72 hours for a deadline and a countdown timer usually converts best for us. And if your cart is closing that day or sale is ending that day, then make sure that you let your website visitors know that today is the last day that they can take advantage of your special offer. I see even the most experienced marketers forget to put a closing day headline above their VSL. Well, I promise you through our extensive testing that if you put a huge headline above your video that says we are closing tonight at midnight or at midnight tonight or this half price sale ends today, you will be able to substantially increase your conversions. Now, here's an example of the benefit-rich headline that I talked about earlier. This is a headline designed to reinforce what it is that they'll learn or benefit from by watching the video. And the combination of this headline and this particular VSL has substantially increased our conversions for us. And by conversions, I mean sales. This is a real-life example of a product that we sell where we teach people how to use YouTube to generate leads and find customers for their business. This is one of our winning headlines, and it says, if you need more highly targeted leads and cash-paying customers for your business, then this video is definitely for you. They know immediately, just by the headline alone, what this video is all about, and it helps compel them to continue watching the video. Now, here's an example of what's known as the deadly combination of both a deadline headline and a countdown timer. In our testing, we have consistently and repeatedly seen sales spike, double, even triple, going into the close because we use a combination of a deadline headline with a countdown timer. Now, this particular example says, warning, after Christmas sale ends in, and then there's a countdown timer that's counting down, and it says 1 day, 13 hours, 53 minutes, and 41 seconds. And as the people are watching this video, that countdown timer keeps ticking down, closer and closer to zero. Well, why is it that you think every successful infomercial that you have ever seen always uses a countdown timer? Well, the answer is because a countdown timer is a great way to introduce urgency into your offer, and it works plain and simple. So if you want to increase your conversions, if you want to possibly double your conversions, then 3 days before you close your cart or 3 days before the sale ends, use this combination. And don't forget that on closing day itself, the very last day of your special offer, your sale, whatever it is, if cart's closing, if something is ending, and you really want to increase your conversions, then use a closing day headline to remind people that today is the last day. So here's a real life example where we used a headline that said, "Warning, sale ends at midnight tonight." And then there's a countdown timer counting down to zero. When someone sees this page, there was no doubt in their mind that this was their very last chance to take advantage of this special offer. And it helps substantially increase our conversion rates, and I'm sure it'll work for you as well. Which brings us to step number 2, which is split test a call to action for your add to cart button and other action buttons. Now, an action button is any button on a page that someone has to press in order to take the next step. And I'll show you examples in just a few seconds, but you also want to test different shapes, colors, and sizes for your action buttons. For example, here is an add to cart button. It's this huge bright yellow button that you can't miss on the page. And inside of it, you will see a text phrase. That phrase, that text, is the call to action. Now, an action button with the right call to action will always, and I mean always, increase your conversion rates. So here are some action button tips. Take the hooks from the winning headlines that you were split testing as part of step 1 and use them to create several calls to actions. Now, test using the first person in your calls to action, and you want to test different shapes, sizes, and colors for your buttons. And you want to use colors that stand out on the page. So if your entire website or the entire page is red and blue, then for the action button, you want to use a color like green, yellow, and orange, something that really stands out on the page and calls their attention to that action button. Because remember, the action button is the action that you want them to take while they're on that page. And test a delayed appearance of your action button. Now, we've been able to increase our video sales letter conversions by 83%. That's almost double our sales, simply by hiding the action button until after we revealed the price in the video. Now, here's an example of a call to action written in the first person. It says, I need more highly targeted leads and customers. We have found that first person calls to actions really improve our conversion rates. Here's another example of an opt-in page with an action button, and this opt-in page has 61.8% conversions. It does really well for us. Now, the action button is that orange button that they have to push in order to join our list. And that orange button says, I want more customers. It is a first-person call to action that reinforces one of the primary benefits of the headline. Now, here's an example of a delayed appearance of the add to cart button. Now, in this particular video, we are hiding the add to cart button until after we revealed the price. So for the first 30 minutes as they're watching this video, there is no way for them to order this product. In fact, we don't even talk about a product being sold until 30 minutes into the video. And that's when that magic cart button appears. And you'll notice that it is a bright yellow that really stands out on the page, which is exactly what I told you to do. You'll also notice that the cart button does not just say add to cart. No, we took what we learned in our headline split testing back in step 1, and we wrote a custom first person call to action for our button. And it says, I need more highly targeted leads and customers, because that is the hook. Those are the benefits that we found that our viewers really respond to. So we created a custom add to cart button just for them. Now, the reason that we use the delayed add to cart button technique is because it's a technique that ties into what I've already taught you back in video number 1. And that's where I taught you how to design your lead magnet so it actually helps overcome sales objections before you ask them to buy. Well, that's also one of the techniques, just one of several techniques that you need to use when you design your VSL. You need to design that VSL so it overcomes sales objections, so it gives you the time to build rapport, to gain their trust, to convince them of the value of your products and services before you ask them to buy. So that is one of the reasons why we delay the appearance of the Add to Cart button, and one of the reasons why it works so well. However, the best time to have your Add to Cart button appear is not, and I repeat, is not always after you reveal the price, because it depends on multiple factors, including how many times your prospects have been exposed to your offer, how far along they are in the buying decision process, your traffic sources, the average viewer duration, and even your price. So the only way to know for sure what the best time is for showing your button is through split testing. You have to split test the delayed appearance of your Add to Cart button at multiple points throughout your VSL. That is the only way for you to know for sure which point is the best point. What's the best time to show that button? And in fact, our tests have shown that after you've already dialed in your winning headlines back in step number 1, a well-designed Add to Cart button can have an even bigger impact on increasing your conversions than your headline. And that's exactly what these split test results show. We were split testing a variation of 5 different headlines in combination with 4 different Add to Cart buttons, and our test results showed that the Add to Cart buttons during this test resulted in a greater impact, a greater increase in conversions for our VSL than the headlines did. And your goal with your split testing should always be to get the biggest gains in conversion as quickly as possible with the least amount of traffic as possible. Now this brings us to step number 3. Split test your checkout page using the information that you learned in steps 1 and step 2. And the very first thing that you need to know about checkout pages is that you never ever want to use the default checkout page unless your testing proves it to be the highest converting page. And it never is, because trust me, over the last 12 years, I've used multiple shopping cart systems and I've run hundreds, even thousands of split tests on my checkout pages. And not one time, not once, has the default checkout page been the best page to use. So what you want to do is you want to create your perfect checkout page yourself. You want to test variations of the cart page that include the best performing hooks and benefits that you discovered from steps 1 and step 2. Remember, this is a 3-step process that is called double your sales. And we're trying to double our video sales letter conversions without recording a single second of new video. And these are the types of things that have been proven to work. So you want to test the placement of your money back guarantee symbol and other trust seals. You want to test the placement and the order of your bullet points in your testimonials. And you want to test different color action buttons as well as different calls to actions in the action buttons themselves. Everything that you've already learned today applies to designing your perfect checkout page. And I think the best way to illustrate this is to show you some real-life examples. So here's a checkout page from our YouTube product. Earlier in today's video, I showed you that we did some split testing for the headline, and we discovered that they liked the hooks and the benefits of getting more traffic and leads from YouTube. And then in step 2, I showed you that during our VSL testing, they liked the Add to Cart button phrase that said, "I need more highly targeted leads and new cash paying customers." So on the checkout page, after they click the Add to Cart button, they come to this page, and the first sentence reinforces those primary hooks and benefits. It says, "Yes, Jeff, I need more highly targeted leads and cash paying customers for my business." Something else that you absolutely must test is the order of your bullet points and also your testimonials. Now, by simply moving 2 of our bullet points from the bottom of the list to the top of the list, by that one simple little change, we are able to increase our conversion rates, increase our sales by 12.2% for a $600 product. That's fantastic. However, it is nothing compared to the 41.52% increase in conversions that we were able to achieve. We were able to increase our sales by 41.52% by simply creating a new cart button. Now, the default cart button was ugly, gray, simple, and I think the button said something like, "Click here to place your order." Well, what are you doing? First of all, how are they supposed to see a gray button when the background's gray? Second, you're asking them to buy something. You're asking them to spend money, but there are no benefits involved when it says, "Click here to process your order." So what we did instead is we redesigned the cart page based on what I've already taught you today. We created a bright orange button that really stands out on the page. We also took what we learned during the step 1 and step 2 testing, and we created a new call to action phrase for the button. So the new button is bright orange, and it says, "I need more leads and customers." These are the types of things that you can do in your own business to increase your video sales conversions. But you also need to understand that what you test and the order in which you test it is very important. You can get results significantly faster by testing the right things and in the right order. And this doesn't just apply to video sales letters. It also applies to everything. You need to try to improve everything with your split testing, including your list building, your opt-in pages, your product pricing, your email open rates, your email click-through rates, your social media marketing, your written sales letters, and yes, of course, your video sales letter. We test dozens of different things, but when you are testing your VSL using my 3-step system, it's very important that you do it in this particular order. Step 1, split test headlines above your video sales letter. And when you find a winning hook or benefit that they really respond to in the headline, use that information to create and test a call to action for your add to cart button. And step number 3 is where you split test your checkout page and you design an entirely new checkout page based upon the information that you learned in steps 1 and step 2. Now, earlier today, I showed you our split test results, proof that we were able to take these very same 3 steps that I have taught you today. We were able to apply them to our video sales letter and more than double our sales without recording a single second of new video. And if you've ever recorded a VSL before, then you know what a pain in the butt it is to go back and reshoot your VSL. So please take these 3 steps along with everything else that I've already taught you and put them to use in your business. You can see almost immediate results. This stuff works plain and simple. And while you're at it, keep an eye out for my next video because I'm going to show you how to take everything that you've learned in these last few videos and dozens of new ways to build your list, get more traffic, find new customers, and make more money, and how to use all of it to supercharge your business. Plus, get my personal help putting it all together and implementing my proven systems in your business, where I will personally help you build your list, get more traffic, and find new customers. So keep an eye out for my next video, but in the meantime, don't forget to download your Double Your VSL Conversions cheat sheet. You'll find it just below this video on my blog. And if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends on social media and leave your comments below. My name is Jeff Johnson. I appreciate your time, and we'll talk again very, very soon.